Hello there, fellow cultists. This is DM Nell, and I'm back with another Shadow Talk. This is episode number 146, and today we're going to be tackling the creation of a new character, and that is the Mage. My favorite class to run has always been the Spellcaster, the Wizard, the Magic User, whatever you want to call it. In this game, it's called the Mage, and so we're going to be creating one of those today. So, before we do that, let's talk about new stuff from Sotww Entertainment. So, Sotww Entertainment has released the Blight Scars, the Grimmerling Boar. This is I talked about this last week because I was in the Kickstarter. I actually received a email copy of this PDF as part of my Kickstarter fulfillment, but it has now been released to DriveThruRPG. So if you want Blight Scars, the Grimmerling Boar, which is essentially a deeper dive into the Balgrendia, the nation of Balgrendia in the campaign world of Rural, then this is a good product for you to pick up. So there is the first product of the new product of the week, and then for the next product of the week, we have Trip the Light Fantastic. This is the first epic adventure, or sorry, not epic, expert tier adventure for Shadow the Weird Wizard. So in this quest, in Trip the Light Fantastic, the characters become enamored by a charming tune and find themselves caught in a dance from which there might not be an escape. Ooh. All right, so that's Trip the Light Fantastic. You can pick that up on DriveThruRPG if you weren't part of the Weird Wizard Kickstarter. And it's probably a couple bucks out there if that. So why don't you go find it and download it and start getting your Shadow the Weird Wizard game ready. But before you can do that, you need characters. And that is my not so subtle segue into the main topic here, and that is to create a mage. So how do we create a mage? Well, first of all, we need the Shadow the Weird Wizard core rulebook, and we need a blank character sheet. Okay, so for this adventure, or for this character creation, I am going to actually reference the core rulebook online here, and like last week, so you can follow along a little bit better. So first of all, we have a character with no name. All right, so I've already got a name picked out, and the name is Mewise the Mage. He's going to be human, and his novice path is Mage. Okay, so why Mewise? That's a weird name. DMNL, why are you picking Mewise the Mage? That's very bizarre. Well, let me tell you a little story behind Mewise the Mage. This is a name I came up with last night when I was thinking of why I'm naming all of my characters that I'm rolling up here. And first of all, let me back up by saying I'm naming these characters and I am building the characters with the intent of actually using them to do further demonstrations on how Shadow the Weird Wizard, the combat system work, the magic system, and all that stuff. So I'm building the characters first, and then we're going to be doing kind of a, I'm not sure if it's tutorial is a good word because I'm kind of going to be learning it as we go myself, but we'll call it a tutorial. Why not? So Mewise the Mage, how did I come up with that name? So my fighter's name that I created in my last video is Korvac. So I just came up with Korvac off the top of my head. It's kind of a play on Korvac, which is a really powerful villain that was in the early days of the Avengers comic books. And so I've always liked Korvac. So I just kind of played with that name a little bit and came up with Korvac. Korvac the fighter. So Mewise the Mage, how did I come up with that name? Well, I am have always been a huge, lifelong Van Halen fan. And in the 90s, after Van Halen has gone through their David Lee Roth phase, and then they were kind of in the end game of their Sammy Hagar phase, they came out with a greatest hits. And they had two new songs on this greatest hits, and one of the songs was called Me Wise Magic. It featured David Lee Roth. So they brought David Lee Roth back to do the vocals. And it was a brand new song, and this was a brand new David Lee Roth, old Van Halen style song. And I dug it. I loved it. And it still remains to this day one of my favorite Van Halen songs. I have no idea what the song is about, but it has a cool title, Me Wise Magic. And so I just did a play on that. And since, it has the word magic in it, it made me think of magic users. And so we've got Me Wise the Mage. So there you go. Stupid name, I agree, but I'm going with it. All right, so we have a name. Now what we need to do is go to the character creation section of the core rulebook, which is chapter 1, creating a character. So the first thing it says we need to do is to have a level. So we need to determine what level our character is, and we're starting off at the first level, of course. The second thing is we need an ancestry. Well, we know we're going to be human. So what does a human give us? It gives us size 1 and speed 5. So let's go back to the character sheet. Put our speed in here, 5, and our size in here, 1. All right, going back to, let's see here, what do we need? Professions. Okay, so you pick a profession or you can randomize it. So last time I randomized it, this time I'm going to choose a profession, and my profession is going to be an academic profession. And before I go any further, let me just explain that my last character that I did, Korvac the Fighter, was human. This character is human. I'm going with all humans for my first 4 characters that I'm rolling up, just because that's the only option that's in the core rulebook. There are other options in Secrets of the Weird Wizard, which I do have, but I want to keep it simple just for this series. So we're going to keep it with human ancestries for all 4 core classes initially. Maybe someday I'll do roll up some other characters that will be different ancestries, but really, as you can see, ancestries basically just add a couple things to your character, so it's not really going to change them too terribly much. Okay, so the other thing that my character has here is, sorry, I forgot to do this before I went on to professions. They do have a trait, and the trait is cut above, which is a human-only trait. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it into my ancestry traits. Okay, so what is a cut above? You have certain advantages that set you apart from other people. These advantages can source from special training, a knack, a destiny, or something that happened during upbringing. You can increase the scores of 2 different attributes by 1 each. See other ancestries, bottom right. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that part. So I can increase the scores of 2 different attributes by 1. More than likely, I'm going to do intellect and either will or agility. I'm not really sure which way to go there. Probably, yeah, I don't know. Maybe will. All right, so I'm going to put a 1 there for now, and I'm going to put a 1 here for now so I don't forget. Okay, so heading back, so now we pick our professions. So we have academic professions here. There's different tables for different professions, but I'm going to choose to have an academic profession. However, I'm going to randomize my academic profession. So let's go ahead and roll it. And I come up with a 13. So on this table, a 13 is a naturalist. So let's just grab that. Copy it, paste it over here. Oh, you know what else I forgot to mention? With creating each of these characters and using them in tutorials later on, these are going to be kind of like my archetypes for each of the core classes or core paths. So I'm giving them each a catchphrase, kind of like in the game. Gauntlet. So for Korvac, the fighter, I chose a catchphrase of "I am mighty." So whenever Korvac talks, he's going to be saying, I am mighty, because that's his catchphrase. So for Mewise the Mage, I think his catchphrase is going to be, I have the magic. All right, I have the magic. I just keep thinking in me. So I have the magic in me. I have the magic in me. No, that's a terrible song. Why did I do that? So I have the magic is good enough. All right, so that is his catchphrase. But we also have a profession included in here now, so he's a naturalist. What is a naturalist? The life sciences dominated your educational pursuits, and thus you now know much about animals, the natural world, and the weather. You have two poultices, two poultici. Okay, so I'm going to put in two poultices, two poultices down here in equipment, because that's what I get for being a naturalist. Okay, so let's back it up here. And so now I have my ancestry, I have my profession, and what's beyond this section here. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff to flesh out your character. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't need a background, I don't need any identity, I don't need a personality, so we can skip all that for now. Name, I've already got a name, so, piety. Okay, religious beliefs. All right, so let's figure out what what Mewise believes in. All right, here, 3d6, so we have 6, 7, 8. All right, an 8 is, you know the gods exist, but lack any commitment to any religion. All right, that's cool, that tracks. He's a nature dude. So, I'm just going to put that down here. You know the gods exist, but lack commitment to any religion. All right, I like that. So let's go ahead and move on. We don't need a name. Now we're on a novice pass. Okay, so I've already chosen Mage, a dedicated spellcaster with access to a wide range of different spells. Okay, so before we get into... Oh wait, did I skip something? I feel like I missed something. No? Okay, so we are on a mage. So I need my attributes here. So let's pick some attributes. And let's see here. Where is? I think I did miss something. I want to say, oh yeah, I missed equipment. Duh. All right, so equipment is kind of hidden here. It's on page 14. So this is your character starting equipment. I thought I missed something. Okay, so you can start the game with 2 gold pieces and buy your own equipment if you want, or you can go with this basic starter package here. So I'm going to go with the basic starter package, and that is clothing, weapons, and gear. So let me copy that, bring it over to the character sheet, and paste it. So I have 2 poultices. I have a set of clothing, normal clothes. I have a dagger, which is a weapon. I'm going to put under weapons category. And I have a backpack which contains water skin provisions, 5 torches, and a tinderbox. So we learned last time when we were creating the fighter that you can carry as much equipment as you have points of strength. So I don't know what my strength score is yet, but I do know that a backpack counts as 1 item. The stuff in the backpack is included in the 1 item for the backpack. So that's a good thing always to have a backpack. Okay, so you have, since I already have a backpack, I'm going to stick my poultices into the backpack as well, like that. Okay, so I have clothing, weapons, gear, and we also have bonus equipment, so choose one of the following options. Okay, so our options are Brigandine armor, shield, and club. No. Leather armor, shield, and longsword. Leather armor, short bow with a quiver of 20 arrows. Nah. Padded armor, quarterstaff, 2 blank books, writing kit, and 3 poultices. Ooh, that sounds like an option there, but let's see what the last one is. Leather armor, short sword, sling with bag of 20 bullets and lockpicks. Okay, so this fourth bullet point sounds like the one for me, so I'm going to highlight that bad boy. And I'm going to put it here in my equipment. Okay, so I have a quarterstaff now. And I don't know if a quarterstaff is considered to be a weapon, but I'm going to put it in here for now. Quarterstaff. And then we have armor. Now, this is an interesting thing because I'm going to be a mage, and I don't know if they can wear armor. So we'll find out. Okay, so I've got padded armor, quarterstaff. So armor and quarterstaff you can't really put into a backpack, but 2 blank books, a writing kit, and 3 poultices you can. So I'm going to stick those in here under that. So now I have a total of 5 poultices. It's a lot of poultices. And I have padded armor and quarterstaff. So if I can't use the padded armor, I will just sell it, most likely. Okay, so that's my equipment. Let's get back and get back to the character. All right, so skip all that stuff. All right, here we go. Novice paths. All right, so I need some ability scores, some attributes here. Now, it says here I can customize my scores, or I can take the starting attribute scores for the mage. So I think I'm going to go with the starting attribute scores for the mage. So I go to page 22 where the mage is outlined, and I will look at the chart here and decide, do I want to randomize it or do I want to pick one? So I think I want to be the magiest mage I can magic up here. So I'm thinking of number 3 here. So I'm going to choose the 9, 10, 13, and 11. So it'll maximize my intellect score, which is needed for a mage. You still have a decent will score, but your strength and your agility scores are not great. And that sounds about right. So 9, 10, 11, 13. No, wait. Sorry. 9, 10, 13, 11. 9, 10, 13, 11. All right, so we go with 9, 10. All right, this is 13, but remember, I'm a cut above. As a human, I can increase the scores of 2 different attributes by 1. So this is 13. I get to increase it by 1, so it will now be 14. And then same thing with will. It is 11, but I get to increase it by 1, so that makes it 12. Okay, so we also have a modifier that goes with each. So your modifier is equal to your strength minus 10. So, is that right? No, not your strength minus 10. What am I saying? All right, your ability score is, I forget how they say it, but it is your ability modifier. Why doesn't it talk about the modifier? Where's the modifier? Okay, doesn't say how you calculate your modifier, but it's the same way as with Shadow of the Weird Wizard or Shadow of the Demon Lord. So your modifier is your attribute minus 10. Yeah, your attribute minus 10. So 9 minus 10 is negative 1. 10 minus 10 is 0. 14 minus 10 is 4. And 12 minus 10 is 2. Okay, So those are my starting attributes. Not too bad. All right, what else do we have here? Okay, so getting back to the mage. So we have our that. We can choose a source of magic. I'm not really sure I want to do this. Let me just see what comes up if I roll one. So 4. You made a pact with a higher power for your magical knowledge. Maybe a fiend whispered in your ear, or the god of magic chose you to be his agent. Hmm. Hmm. Nah, I don't like either of those. So I'm just going to skip that. I don't know where my magic comes from. Maybe it's just because I'm smart and I know how to read magic books. All right, so level 1 mage. What do we get as a level 1 mage? So let's start off with natural defense of 8. All right, that's not so great. So where do we put natural defense? I don't see it anywhere on the character sheet. I think we went through this last week, so I will do this. For these two things, I'm going to copy and paste it into the character sheet. Okay. All right, natural defense of 8. Health of 12, and languages, arcane and common. All right, I really don't have any place to put natural defense of 8 except for here, so I'll put it here for now. But defense is also inclusive of your armor, and as we mentioned earlier, I get padded armor. So we shall see about that for now, but I'm going to keep natural defense of 8 over here just to remind me. I also have a health of 12. So for health, I will put it here under current and normal, and I'm going to remove it from here. It's not needed. And then languages, I know arcane and common. Okay, sounds good to me. Then what else we get? We get 2 traditions and 4 novice spells. Okay, so traditions come under the magic section, so we'll get to that here in a second. So for now, let's just put it over here. 2 traditions, 4 spells. All right, so then we get a mage implement. Let me copy all this stuff. Copy that. Okay, so a mage implement. So this is considered a novice path talent. So I'm going to put it over here. And it's a lot of stuff, taking up a lot of space on my character sheet. But we can play around with the formatting here a little bit. All right, so magic or mage implement. You have a wand, amulet, totem, or crystal ball, or some other item that helps you focus your magic. If you lose this object, you can fashion another one after you rest. You can have 1 mage implement at a time. The implement contains a number of charges equal to your level. Once per round, you can expend 1 charge from the implement to produce one of the following effects. You regain expended charges after you rest. So the first effect is augment magic. You can produce this effect when you cast a spell or use a magical talent. You roll with 1 boon, and you impose 1 bane on rolls made as a result of casting the spell or using the talent. So that'd be like equivalent to like if they get an opposing I don't want to say use saving throw because that's not a thing in this game, but if they get a roll to resist your spell, then they make it with a bane. Okay, so the second thing that your mage implement gives you is mage sense. You can use an action to perceive the presence or absence of magic within 5 yards. The range increases to 10 at level 3 and 20 at level 7. If a creature, object, or space is under the effects of or created by magic and is within the range, you know it and where to find it. The effect lasts 1 minute. All right, and then the last thing your implement gives you is A Mage Shield. You can use a reaction when a creature you can see within 10 yards targets you with a magical effect. You roll to resist the effect with one boon, and you impose one bane on the roll made to affect you. In addition, if the magic deals damage, you take half damage from it. All right, so that is your Novice Path talents that you get for being a mage. All right, so now we get to pick our traditions and our spells. Now I've already, as you can see, I've already written down a couple here, but there are many to choose from in the core rulebook. So if we go to the magic section, and I believe that starts on page 75. Yep, 75. All right, so 75 starts the magic chapter, and it lists the various traditions of magic. Now I've gone ahead and chosen a couple already. I chose chronomancy, which is time magic, and evocation, which is uttering words of power. Now there are many other. You can read through these yourself. I'm not going to do it for you, but many other traditions, just like in Shadow of the Demon Lord, lots of different traditions to choose from. Some are similar to Shadow of the Demon Lord, some are very different. So go through here, and when you're making your own mage, pick a couple that feel good to you. So I picked Eldritch and Chronomancy. So for now, I'm going to go to the Chronomancy because that's closest in alphabetical order. And we see that Chronomancy also provides us with talents. So students of Chronomancy tradition learn to meddle with time. Understanding time's mutability enables them to speed it up and slow it down, to steal moments from others, and to cause hiccups in people's own timelines. Twisting time as they do sometimes produces unfortunate consequences, but to become a master of moments puts to rest any misgivings these casters might feel. All right, so we get to pick a talent here. I don't think we pick more than one. Let me back it up here and get back to page 75 and see what it says. Blah, 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 blah. Knowledge of tradition demonstrates instant less. All right, spells have limited usage, represented by their castings. Once you run out of castings, you exhaust the magic of that spell, which puts it out of reach until you replenish your magic. This chapter presents 33 traditions of magic. Each tradition offers 4 magical talents and 18 spells divided into 3 tiers. All right, so I'm looking for the traditions. So attempts to codify and categorize magic gave rise to magical traditions known throughout the world. Each tradition owns one or more spells that share the same theme. Pyromancy, for example, encompasses fire magic, while psychomancy claims psychic or psionic magic. Students of magic strive to discover blah, blah, blah. Okay, so knowledge of a tradition grants access to magical talents and the ability to cast spells. The magical talent demonstrates an instant lasting benefit for having discovered the tradition, while the spells represent clear expressions and techniques for using the magic related to that tradition. Spells have a limited range, represented by their castings. Once you run, okay. So it doesn't say how many traditions you pick. I don't think you get them all. That would be cool. But I want to say you only get one. So let me see here. But it starts right off with that. So yeah, I'm going to have to inquire about this because this isn't clear. I'm not sure if you get all of the talents that you get. Knowledge of a tradition grants access to magical talents and the ability to cast spells. The magical talent demonstrates an instant and lasting benefit for having discovered the tradition. Yeah, I don't know. So it doesn't really tell me if I get all of the talents or if I have to choose a talent. So this doesn't tell me if I have to choose one. So I'm going to choose one for now. If I get them all, that's great. But that seems like a lot. But let's see here. We have Borrow Against the Future, which is magical. You can use this talent at the start of your turn. Increase the number of actions you can use during your turn by one. At the end of your turn, make a will roll. On a failure, you become confused. Luck ends. You can use this talent once, twice at level 3, and 3 times at level 7. You regain expended uses after you rest. That sounds pretty cool, actually. Peer into the past. You can use an action to look back into the past, make an intellect roll. On a success, you and you alone see time in your vicinity flow in reverse for up to 1 hour. If you move more than 5 yards from where you cast the spell, the effect ends early. Each minute you see events around you, roll back 1 minute into the past. Seeing creatures' actions and events that recently occurred happen in reverse. For example, if you cast this spell in a room where a murder took place 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after you cast the spell, you would see the murder occur, and then you would see the events leading up to the murder. On a failure, you cannot see more than 5 yards away. You can use this talent once. You regain the use of it after you rest. Okay. Sudden Horde Aging. You can use an action to briefly cause a creature to experience extreme aging. Target one creature within 5 yards. Make an intellect roll against the target's strength. On a success, the target becomes weakened until the end of your next turn. On a critical success, the target also falls prone. Angels, demons, fairies, fiends, and spirits ignore this effect. At level 3, you can target 2 creatures. At level 7, you can target 3 creatures. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. And then Temporal Disjunction. You can use a reaction immediately after you are harmed to step out of time. You become removed from the existence of... You become removed from existence until the end of the round. While so removed, you take no turns and you perceive nothing. When the effect ends, make a luck roll. On a success, you return to existence in an empty space of your choice within 5 yards of the space you left. On a failure, the effect extends until the end of the next round. You can use this talent once, twice at level 3, and 3 times at level 7. You regain expended uses after you rest. Okay, so I'm really going to need to find out if I can only pick one or if I can pick all of them. I don't know. So I'm going to pick one for now. And that'll be the first one there. I'm going to stick it on my character sheet. My character sheet's Novice Path is already pretty full. Novice Path talent. So let me look at the next page. Aha, here we go. Talents and spells. So tradition is Chronomancy, and I'll put this down as my talent. Alright, I'll fix the formatting later. Okay, so back to Chronomancy, and let's pick these spells. So, I get to pick 2 Novice Chronomancy spells. I have an Extra Moment, Displace from Time, Entangle Timeline, Entrap in a Time Loop, Fold Space, Temporal Distortion. Okay, so the first 4 spells only give you 1 casting. And the last 2 give me 3 castings. So I think I'll pick one that gives me 1 casting and one that gives me 3 castings. That'll give me 4 castings of these spells per day. So let's see what would be most interesting here. So an Extra Moment. Time speeds up for the target. Target gains 1 action that it must use immediately. Okay, I like that. That seems like a buff, but I assume I could use it on myself as well. Displace from Time. Make a luck roll. On success, the target winks out of existence. The target is removed from time. While removed from time, the only thing that the target can do is make luck rolls and this effect. When the target gets a success on a luck roll, it reappears in the space. So you get rid of somebody for a brief period of time. Entangle Timeline. The target sees its future and past unspool around it and becomes surrounded by conflicting images of scenes that might have happened or not. Target becomes confused and vulnerable for the duration. While confused in this way, you trap the target in a okay, I don't like that. All right, Entrap in a Time Loop. Seize the target's timeline and wrap it around the target. The target becomes confused and held. Luck ends both. While confused, the target must use an action on each of its turns to perform the same activity it performed during the previous round. Okay, now that's funny. That is funny. I may have to pick that just because it's funny. But I think an extra moment is better. So time speeds up for the target. Target gains one action that it must use immediately. I think that is what we're going to go with. So an extra moment will be my novice here. Spell. So what was it again? An extra moment. An extra moment. And then my second spell will be either fold space, time and space warp, so the creature in each space can clearly see into and hear from the other space. Both spaces count as being adjacent to each other, such as when a creature moves out of one space and enters the other and vice versa. When the spell ends, make a luck roll. On a failure, you become confused. So you can see clearly into and hear from the other space. Okay, I'm not sure about that one. Then temporal distortion. Time flows in erratic fashion for the target. Make a luck roll. On a failure, you also target yourself in the spell's effects. The target emits dim light and becomes agility impaired and vulnerable. Luck ends. Until the affliction ends, the target can use an action or move on each of its turns, but not both. Okay, we're going to pick that one. So temporal distortion. Okay, that's chronomancy. So the next one is evocation. So let's find evocation. Dark arts, divination, eldritch, evocation. Here we go. All right, so evocation, hidden within every tongue spoken or written lie fragments, syllables, and sounds that survive from the moment of creation. When powers ancient and terrible impose order on substance, the evocation tradition allows casters to extract the secret words of power and give voice to them. All right, so this is my dude. This is what we're doing. So evocation spells, you must be able to hear in order to cast an evocation spell, and creatures must be able to hear your voice. In addition, when you cast a spell, you choose to whisper, speak, or shout. The volume at which you pronounce the syllable, utterance, or recitation determines its effects, as noted in the spell's description. That's kind of cool. Novice evocation spells, and only such spells enable you to cast them without having to use an action to do so. In fact, you need to do nothing more than speak the syllable. Wow, you don't have to use an action for novice evocation spells. Okay, that's cool. All right, so we have evocation talents. We have command, numinous benediction, polyglot, or word of breaking. So command, I assume you tell somebody to do something and they have to do it. Numinous benediction, the study of the uncanny has fortified your psyche. You can use a reaction when you would become confused, controlled, or stunned to make a luck roll. On a success, you do not gain the affliction. I think we'll be picking that one. But let's just see what the others say. Polyglot, you can speak, understand, read, and write in any language. Kind of like that too. Word of breaking, you can use an action to speak the word of breaking. Target one creature or object within 5 yards. The target takes to do. Oh, I like that one too. I like that one too. I can do that without taking. God, so many good choices. All right, so I'm going to pick that one. So hopefully I get all of them, but again, we'll have to find that out. All right, so this will be my talent. And then novice tier spells. Let's see what we have to choose from here. Bolstering syllable. The sound you make uplifts those who hear you. I got the hiccups. It happens on every call. I don't get it. Okay. So this is a buff. Until the end of your next turn, the target makes attribute rolls with 1 boon if you whispered, 2 boons if you spoke, or 3 boons if you shouted. Harmful syllable. Okay, you make a sound that sends painful ripples through those who hear it. The target takes a d6 damage if you whisper, 2 to 6 damage if you speak, or 3 to 6 damage if you shout. You know it makes me wanna. Yeah. Hateful syllable. The sound spilling from your lips awakens intense hatred in your audience. I don't want that. Healing syllable. Pain washes away from people who hear your vocalization. Okay. Whoops. Hindering syllable. Confidence drains out from people who hear you. Attribute rolls are impacted. Okay. Mobilizing syllable. A sudden urgency drives your audience to move. Until the end of your next turn, a target increases its speed by 2. If you whispered, okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I think I'm going to pick harmful syllable for sure. Harmful syllable. And then looks like a buff is going to have to be the second one. I really don't want to be a buffer. I could do a healing syllable. That might be good. But I don't want to have too much healing in the party. So mobilizing, hindering, hateful, or bolstering. Make attribute rolls with a boon. Yeah, I think bolstering syllable is going to have to do it. So, bolstering syllable. All right. So we got our 4 spells. We have our 2 traditions. I have to figure out if I get all of the talents for each tradition or if I have to choose one. So I will figure that out and I will give you the result of that in my next video. But that will wrap it up for this week. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it as usual. And let's do our Hail to the Demon Lord. And should probably not do that in Shadow of the Weird Wizard. Okay, so yeah, don't know. Hail to the Weird Demon Lord Wizard? I don't know. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. And how do you turn this damn thing off? Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, don't know. Hail to the Weird Demon Lord Wizard? I don't know. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. And how do you turn this damn thing off? Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, don't know. Hail to the Weird Demon Lord Wizard? I don't know. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. And how do you turn this damn thing off? Oh, yeah.